Alright, it's time for the finale of Let's Play Deus Ex 3! Finally, geez, this one has gone on... It's almost my longest LP. It's still not quite as long as Half-Life 2, though, but I've been able to be a lot more liberal with my video lengths as well. So the actual running time, this might be my longest LP yet, but it's also arguably my most thorough, so... I'm glad that it turned out as well as it did, and I've started to get some really good feedback, and I highly appreciate everyone that's viewed and commented on these videos, and everyone who's thought I've been doing a decent job, and everyone who has supported and who's been commenting on my future LPs as well. Like I said, thanks a lot, guys. It really means a lot, and it makes me glad that I put so much effort into this, because I am starting to feel like it was well worth it. I mean, I was almost at the point where I was going to stop doing LPs just because the reaction was next to nothing. I was getting no feedback, no views, no anything for all the hard work I was putting into these series. And then this one, I think, slowly is starting to redeem itself. Although the views are not quite there yet, but I do like the feedback, so I'm going to keep going. And I'm proud of what I've achieved with this LP, although... Like I said, there were a few things I would have liked to have done differently as usual, but I'm merely nitpicking myself at this point, I think. So, anyway, back on track with the game. Now we have access to all 4 endings, and the game will explain what each ending is and how we go about selecting it. It's not like it's sort of like in Mass Effect 3, where the ending is not determined on how you play the game at all. It's just determined on that spur-of-the-moment choice you make right at the very end. And people complained about that in Mass Effect 3, although I haven't played the game, so I don't know what the ending is like. But, oh, I'm going to go ahead and unload on these guys with the revolver here. Now, like I said, these parts can be quite tricky if you're trying to do a pacifist run for not killing these guys, because they're all over the place. They're right in your way, and you don't have enough fast-acting, non-lethal things aside from gas grenades to be able to take them all out in vast quantities. So I say just ignore them and camo your way past them anyway. People criticize the spur-of-the-moment one choice over the other ending for Mass Effect 3, but they didn't criticize it for this game, and it's just because that's just not the style of that game. That is the style for this game, though. This is the 3rd entry in a trilogy, but it's a prequel as far as the storyline is concerned. So this is at the beginning of the plot, not the ending. So your choices throughout the previous 2 games had no effect on this game. So if you approach this elevator right here and you haven't talked to this is the point of no return when it comes to talking to Seraph and Taggart. So now we're going to get a long elevator ride down to the final boss, and we're going to reflect on how awesome this game was. But that's the thing about I love all the endings of this game, because again, it's exactly the reason why I love the choice system in this game, is because it's not about right or wrong. It's just about what you perceive as morally accurate. It's just from your perspective and your point of view. It's not it can be perceived as right or wrong based on the person's opinions and views. So all of these choices have their own way of being right and their own way of being wrong. It's just a matter of perspective, as I said. And that's true with almost all the choices in this game, with a few exceptions, and that's definitely true with each and every ending. And it's just thoroughly rewarding, and I love every single one of them. But I'm probably only going to be showing off one ending, and you guys can make a save file right before you select your ending, and that way you can load it again and watch all 4 of them at once without playing the game 4 times. Although I did play the game 4 times, but I still did that when I played it, so... And then, like all good final bosses, there's a long empty hallway right in front of it.
What the hell? Oh my God.
Water pressure nominal at 173 psi.
Who am I?
Communications web online.
I feel cold.
Drones 1 through 3 within operational parameters.
I don't remember.
So this is the Hyron project. This is what what's-her-name was talking about earlier. Now, if you play the missing link, they give a lot of insight on how this actually works.
Processing.
Zhao, what are you doing?
But it's basically like having a human computer where the brain is the processor to achieve unrealistic amount of processing power that normal computers would never be capable of.
I'm going to use it to hack Darrow's signal and rework the message to our benefit.
Our benefit? You mean the Illuminati's?
Someone has to override the signal and be the world's savior. And let's be honest, neither of us would trust anyone else to fill that role. Computer, begin EEG sync.
So much pain.
Syncing beta waves at 40 cycles per second.
Sleep, please. Let me sleep.
Incompatible master slave change detected. Alert. Unable to transfer control to Alpha Pod.
The system won't recognize my chip.
Neural systems offline. Rerouting control of the chamber.
I can't control Hyron.
Increasing glutamate by 32%.
Sal, get them out of there. I have to reach the control chamber.
No! I can still control it! I'm in control!
Stop the signal.
Security alert.
Through the primary control hatch.
Ah, hell.
Shit.
Cue the awesome final boss music. Alright, so time for the final battle against the Hyron project. Now basically, this is a pretty simple battle, and it's not like the other boss battles in the game, which were obscenely hard. Let's go ahead and give the plasma rifle a spin. Like I said earlier, it's sort of a large, slow-moving, decaying projectile with explosive splash damage like the concussion rifle in Halo Reach, to give a good analogy. And there's some turrets patrolling around here. I'm going to go ahead and just blow them up with the plasma rifle instead of hacking to disable them. And go ahead and shut down the pods right here, activating those red switches there. And if you got the ebook from Hugh Darrow, not the ebook, the Pocket Secretary from Hugh Darrow in the same room that he was in, it contained a code to shut down this thing. The code is 2012, so it's pretty easy to remember. That's what yours is right now. So if you go ahead and activate that, it'll automatically shut down all those pods with the Hyron girl things in them. That'll trigger the next phase of the fight. Now this fight, how it behaves is actually really weird. I would have used the Typhoon against these guys, but I just punched my way through the wall, so I was still recovering. Go ahead and use the plasma rifle on these guys, I guess. These guys will start coming out after you've changed the phase of the battle, so we're just gonna go all out in this fight. Now, if you're doing a pacifist run, there are still ways of getting through this. But the one augmentation that I can recommend above all others to make this boss fight a freaking joke is the EMP immunity from the armor augmentation. Because what will happen is now they're trying to purge the room of all life forms around here, so they will just go ahead and zap the floor with electricity in certain sections, and eventually it'll be like all over the place. But we'll be completely immune to that because we're immune to all electricity and EMPs. So we can just stand there taking a coffee break and just blast away at whatever happens here. Now we basically just have to let the fight sort of run its course. I'm not really sure what triggers Zhao to actually be vulnerable, but oh yeah, and there's some security bots that are patrolling eventually. Now we could disable them with the if you were doing a non-lethal run, you could disable them with the stun gun, or the peps might do it as well. I haven't really used the peps against a robot, but I'm not sure if they are actually affected by the EMPs or not, because it doesn't look like they are if you look at that one right there. EMP grenade should still work though. It's a much stronger attack. And then the other guys just go all out. We have plenty of revolver ammo, plenty of heavy rifle ammo, plenty of laser rifle ammo and plasma rifle ammo. I want to show off all those weapons before the end of this fight if I can get the chance, because this is the final boss, so it's obviously the final time we get to demonstrate that stuff. So as you can see, there's this thick wall of indestructible glass in front of her, which will break after a certain stage in the fight. Now, I think it has to do with just letting the dialogue in the computer go through its course. But we basically just have to dodge everything else while we're worrying about that. But like I said, not having to worry about the EMP charges makes this a lot easier. Because if we were being hurt by this, we'd have to heal like every couple of seconds, or else it would immediately kill us. So, I'm not really going to use the sniper rifle, I guess. Shotgun's out of ammo. Let's demonstrate the laser rifle. The nice thing about the laser rifle is it is perfectly precise. it goes always in a straight line all the time, every time. And it's the most powerful weapon in the game as far as damage per second goes. And because it's a continuous stream. And when you blind fire with it, you can fire accurately in one direction. It also has a very nice scope on it, as you can see. But yeah, it's very, very nice. It's probably the most powerful weapon in the game. The plasma rifle it's different. I'd say they're both pretty powerful, but they're just different from each other. As you can see, it just lays waste to these sentry robots here. I guess the glass broke, so let's finish her off. She only has 300 health compared to some of the bosses that have 1,000 plus. And Barrett at 1,500. Die! Should have finished her off with a sniper rifle, like I did the first time through the game. Kablam! Yay, we defeated Zhao, so that's it. That's the final battle. It wasn't all that hard, but it was definitely meaningful. So let's celebrate and toss out all our crap. I never really got to use the heavy rifle, so let's just dump out our ammo for it. Gas grenade, get out of here. Use that as well. Just use all of our crap. Just get it out of here. We're not going to need it anymore. Okay, so now it's time for them to make a choice. So Eliza here is broadcasting from the computer, and she's going to tell us about all the options we can make for the endings here. So we basically have 3 good endings and 1 bad ending, essentially, to where we can choose to either side with Hugh Darrow and give him disable his signal and tell everybody exactly what happened and it's his fault. He did this, but he had a reason for doing it. And you can give Seraph's ending, which would be to blame Humanity Front, which means Jensen actually gets to keep his job, and Seraph gets to stay in business, and to help further the evolution of technology instead of discourage people from it, like with Darrow's ending. And Taggart's ending is slightly different. I don't really care for that one by comparison. I'm going to go with Hugh Darrow's ending, actually, because I'll leave the other, since that's technically the true ending in my opinion. It's my favorite ending is probably Seraph's, but I'm just going to show off the Darrow one because that's the main one in my opinion, and the others I think you guys should be able to see it for yourself. So I'm not going to spoil all of the endings in one video. So I'm just going to show off that one and leave you guys to view the other ones on your own volition.
However, if you desire, I can alter Darrow's message.
And Eliza, if you read the subtitles here, if you listen to the dialogue, she pretty much explains the appeal of each ending equally as detailed as the next.
The organization has already
The 4th ending I'm going to leave up to her to explain, though.
It would be easy to convince people they turn to biological warfare in a more desperate attempt to get rid of augmented people.
But why? What would that achieve?
In time, it could shift the focus of hatred onto people whose prejudices are seen as too extreme, leaving corporations free to experiment with human evolution as they desire. But if you want me to perform this edit for you, you must disengage the signal and activate the video edit function from here. Alternatively, Darrow's message can be adjusted to erase all mention of the power group known as the Illuminati. I can report that lack of proper regulation allowed vast quantities of neuropozyne to become contaminated prior to reaching the market.
Taggart's preference. You think the world will buy a made-up story about neuropozyne poisoning?
You might be surprised by what people believe. I can convince them. And having experienced the negative effects,
I think Jensen actually makes a good point there.
Firsthand, a majority of people might force
that story does seem pretty far-fetched.
Restrictions on all human enhancement research, but only if you disengage the signal and activate the video edit function from here. Of course, there is another option. This passage leads to Panchaea's pressure regulation controls. Destroy them and the installation will cave in on itself, overwhelmed by the weight of the ocean pressing against it. Everyone inside the structure will die.
That's a solution?
No one will be left to tell the world what happened, Adam. Nobody will be able to spin the story.
Including me.
The choice is yours. Do you believe you have the wisdom to choose an appropriate future for mankind? Or do you trust mankind to find the answers on its own?
I'm gonna cease commentary for the ending, so it's about to get a lot louder, guys, so you might want to turn your volume down.
If you do this, the unadulterated truth in Darrow's confession may well convince mankind to cast all science and technology aside, to ensure that future generations grow up free and whole. Are you sure this is your choice? So be it then.
Albert Einstein said, technological progress is like an axe in the hands of a pathological criminal. It took me a while, but I finally see his point. How often have we chased the dream of progress only to see it perverted? More often than not, haven't the machines we built to improve life shattered the lives of millions? And now we want to turn that dream on ourselves to fundamentally improve who we are. Experience has shown me how dangerous that can be. How many times in the Call of Duty did I almost fall into the trap of taking shortcuts, abusing my abilities or the resources at hand? I resisted. Barely at times, because I valued human lives and considerations. Can I truly despise others who fall? Technology offers us strength. Strength enables dominance, and dominance paves the way for abuse. Darrow understood this. He knew that using technology to become something more than we are risks losing our ability to love, aspire, or make moral choices. The very things that make us human. It also risks giving some men the power to make others what they choose, regardless of the cost to human dignity. The suffering Darrow inflicted is not the end of the world. It is merely the seed for change. And change never comes without pain.